Hello people, my name is Ben. Just listen to some Curtis Mayfield in the Watch Dogs. This is probably one of the best, well, it's Curtis Mayfield, what do you expect, tracks in the game, which the game doesn't have a great selection of licensed music, honestly. It is absolutely nothing, especially in comparison to GTA 5 or even Saints Row 4, which also had a fantastic lineup of licensed tracks. This just seems kind of all over the place. It's very awkward and difficult to get. Oh dear. Oh, I'm sorry. To get to them. That's a real shame. Either way, Watch Dogs is the game that I've been playing this week. I left this I would like to say I left this video on purpose, you know, so I could give you my more detailed thoughts, but no, I just didn't have the chance to make it earlier. But I'm kind of glad that I waited, because now I can give you more detailed thoughts on how much I've played so far. So as you can see, that's my progression. Why is that my progression? Because there's a lot of shit to do in the game. That is one thing you cannot fault the game for. It is insane with the amount of stuff that it has to do. All these side missions, all these mini games, it is crazy. And the main campaign as it is, it's still like a 20 to 30 hour experience. As you can see, there are all of the acts, and yeah, Act 2 is definitely the biggest, unless Act 4 ends up being the longest in the long run, because of the amount, like the length of each individual mission in comparison to Act 2. So, Watch Dogs, it has a lot of shit, has a lot of stuff to do. Are some of those actually shit? Yeah, they're kind of like, take them or leave them, really. However, most of them are pretty solid, just little things. However, they are fairly repetitive. It's like, fix a contract, you go get a car, deliver it to a destination. Gang hideouts, you just go and get a specific target, I believe, and then get out and escape. And that's all pretty fun and solid to do, actually. It's gameplay is fairly good. The handling of the cars is the cars aren't amazing, to say the least. I've not had as much of a problem with them as other people have had. Especially if you choose the sports cars, I would recommend you choose cars like this. Not performance, but sports cars are definitely the best. There's also, on PC, there's significant optimization problems. I've not experienced too many of them, although it does not seem to agree with XSplit overall as a game. Also, look at the Maymays! I am Spartacus. That's actually one of the least Maymay things. And yes, I do know it's pronounced memes. I just think saying it Maymays is hilarious for some reason. Also, would you look at this? Look at all these people just popping in. Look in the distance. Like, you don't even have to look too far. You can see them materializing. It's an incredible power that they have. As do the cars, as do many signposts and everything. It's a real shame. There is terrible popping. And it sucks because popping is not just a graphical issue, it's a gameplay issue as well. It really is, because it means that, it means that your plans for where you are going to go, as you're, especially if you're going to pick up speed like I'm doing now. Like, I didn't know that fire truck was there until just a few moments ago. So your plans of how to weave in and out of the traffic can be foiled because of traffic materializing right in front of you. Not right in front of you. It's not that bad, but it's pretty bad, and it can very easily mess up your driving. That's a real shame. It's not just a shame; it's a really bad aspect of the game. From what I've played, also the reflections. That's another bad aspect. That's another really bad aspect. The reflections don't actually reflect, at least reflections on buildings. They don't reflect what is actually there. Let's see if we can actually get into this pool. I think we'll miss it, but either way, there's another one there. Yeah, that's okay. The actual reflections on buildings don't reflect what is actually across from them. I've checked on multiple buildings, they're just kind of a generic, I would say copy-paste, but some of them do still look slightly different to one another, which is really weird why they aren't legit. You know, it's very, very odd. One thing that does look solid, just like it did in Assassin's Creed 4, is the water. The water, just like in Assassin's Creed 4, this isn't even on the highest settings, looks like some of the best water that you'll really find in any game. Definitely up to the standards of GTA 5, if not more. GTA 5 is surprisingly really beautiful water, but this, just all the little ripples, all of the reflections that are actually accurate. Look at that. They're fairly accurate. I don't believe they're dynamic, unfortunately. But for the water, that's not quite as necessary. The fact is, it is reflecting what I would expect it to reflect. There is a crime happening. I'm too lazy. So, with the abundance of things to do in the game, you've got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to do, and the game will grab your attention constantly, being like, there's a thing going on over here, oh, there's a convoy or whatever, or a gang hideout nearby, which is actually quite nice. It's just a little pop-up like you just saw there, and it will, if you don't press the downwards thing down on the D-pad, if you don't press that, then it'll go away in a matter of seconds. But if you see it and you're like, actually I do want to do that side mission now, then it'll point you to it, and it's just letting you know that you are fairly close. The foliage looks quite nice, as it does in many Ubisoft games. So do the light rays. The light rays look pretty good. That's where the lighting, it actually looks fairly good. However, do I have a shadow on myself, on my being? No! Why would I? You know, I'm just a human. And when I'm out here, it looks ugly because of that. In daytime especially, nighttime, especially when it's raining. Okay, there, now I have a shadow. It looks okay. Do not take this as an accurate representation of how the game looks at the highest settings or at its best, because it is not. I'm running it so I can still keep a fairly consistent 60 FPS. And I do hope they bring out a patch so I can actually up the graphics. This is the crime that we detected.
This is the place. This guy is going to act. He'll be nearby.
That guy over there, I would assume. Hide behind her. Here we go. Wait until he does something. Just started talking to him.
The boss ain't happy with you. Hey, what are you looking over?
Get out! Okay, he's dead. Thanks for your money, random person. Well, shit. Probably didn't need to use a... no, could you stop? Could you not do that, please?
Some guy's shooting me. I don't know if he's
Hey,
poking
hey,
you.
hey, hey.
I need you to stay on the line.
What the hell?
It's fairly hilarious that, despite the fact you do actually get more experience, I believe, if you take the criminal down and don't just outright kill him like I did. Also, steam pipes fuck up the entire area around it, like really badly. Worse than that most of the time. That was actually fairly minute in comparison. Anyway. So those are like cool little side missions and kind of emergent things that happen within the world. And it's all pretty good. Does the game hold up to 2012? No, not in any way. I'm hugely disappointed with the lack of shadows for the most part. The lack of just general shading that just doesn't look quite as good. If you do want some good good footage of the game at pretty much the highest settings, then you can easily just search for it on YouTube. Total Biscuit's WTF is in full 1080p with the graphics, I think, on most of the highest settings. can get Rise Against to shut up. That would be fantastic. The driving is not very good, but it's very, very arcadey, and a lot of things explode and just kind of crash, and that's fun, I guess. It is fun. The game is quite fun for the most part. It's not too frustrating. I've had more fun than I have had frustration. However, most of the stuff, such as hacking, like hacking bank accounts and stuff, that's cool, but it's just pickpocketing in, say, Assassin's Creed in a different form. And that isn't amazing. The theatre is apparently coming soon. Stuff like doing that to traffic lights, it's kind of fun. It's a cool way to take down enemies, the same with the steam pipes and stuff like that. It's okay. And it's kind of fun to just fuck around with people, especially when the AI is really derpy. That's generally hilarious. And I should hopefully be uploading one specific highlight where I really mess with the AI in a section, because you can just go from camera to camera, hacking various things to explode and kill the enemies in the area without actually necessarily being present yourself, and that's really fun. That's where the game shines and where it's actually unique. But for the most part, most of the mechanics, I know I'm not trying to drive well, by the way, just feel like mechanics that we've already seen before, but disguised as hacking. I don't know why I did that either. Whatever. It's all good. Also, the story. Story is it's okay. It's not very good though. No, for the most part. I hate Aiden. He's a dick because of what he just did to that poor woman who was innocent. And he just Glovebox looted cash. We just took $195 from that woman's car that she will never get back. Never before. I've not noticed this much, I'm gonna say it, ludonarrative dissonance between the protagonist and the everything else. It's just so blatant in this game, almost more so than in stuff like Bioshock Infinite. But it is just really, really blatant in this game, and that's one of the things that makes me just kind of hate Aiden. Like, he tries to justify everything. He's like a vigilante, you know, fighting for justice. But in fighting for justice, he steals from random people's bank accounts, peers into their private life, which, like, that would be kind of okay. It's obviously not amazing, but it would be decent at least, if that was the only thing. But no, he steals cars just whenever he really wants. See, this looks fairly nice. The lighting wise and everything, it looks okay, apart from those reflections. However, he seems to just be a crazy motherfucker who goes on mass murder killing sprees, whether you're in mission or out. And I don't know, I don't feel like a vigilante. I don't feel like I'm giving justice to the people. I feel like I'm just some crazy guy who wants to avenge his niece's death by any means necessary, even if that means putting his entire family at risk. Because, you know, that's fine. No, it's not. It's stupid and dumb. What I really liked about GTA 5 is that it made no bones about the fact that you are playing as three complete assholes. They were all dicks. Giant dicks. Just terrible people who try to justify it to themselves, but everybody else around them, some of them were kind of crazy and okay with it, but that was part of the humor of it, and that was fine. But for the most part, they realized, hey, you're doing a lot of crazy things, you're killing people, you don't give a shit. That's why, like, Michael had a therapist and such. He's not a good person. And the game never really tries to tell you that he is, because he isn't. He's an asshole, just like Franklin and Trevor. And that was awesome, because they were actually interesting. They weren't just anti-heroes, they were just terrible people. I loved that. In this, it feels like it's still trying to be too Hollywood. This guy's supposed to be our hero, but he's so flawed. But it's like he's not just flawed, he is crazy. He's such a dick. And that makes me just really not care too much about him. And he really needs some throat soothers, a lozenge, anything, because his voice it hurts. Like, at certain parts it sounds kind of badass, and then other parts it's just like, just shut the fuck up. And then other parts, it doesn't even sound badass. His voice completely changes, and I don't know who the voice actor is, if he's done anything else before, but he was kind of very inconsistent. And that was really, really weird. Hacking stuff, you know what? Hacking stuff's pretty fun. It's a fun time. It's good. It's fun. But is it amazing? Is it next gen? As a PC gamer, I don't really, you know, fall into the whole gens and the next of them. I do like that your markers and stuff have a trail on the road, so you can focus on that rather than your minimap. It's really good. However, it's all very just kind of this is kind of cool. There are certain parts of emergent gameplay where like something happens, or one time like a crime just happened out of nowhere, and that was awesome. And there are some really, really cool parts in it, and cool segments in the missions, but for the most part it's just kind of everything that I've seen before. Okay, let's get out. Because if he sees me, then for some reason he knows exactly the fact that I'm going to stop him, despite that there are other people around. It's very strange. The cover system is sometimes unreliable, but for the most part pretty solid.
Just had to do it the hard way. You got a problem? Stay out of this.
Stay out of this. But that's cool. Whoa, that's cool. That was a really dumb idea. I realized I probably should have just shot him. Either way, that's kind of awesome that other people. One time I had a chase and I was chasing this guy for ages, and then he eventually got in a car, and I was like, whoa, okay, the chase it's still on, but it's just completely changed up, and that was really, really cool. This area also looks fairly nice. But for the most part, this city, I know it's fairly accurate of Chicago, it feels like it could be New York or anywhere else, honestly, despite, other than the ridiculous amount of bridges and such. See how that isn't what you see there? Yeah, how it's just kind of like, there's a really long part and then there are buildings off in the distance. No. That's not how it looks at all. So, those are my thoughts on Watch Dogs. It's an okay game. It's pretty good. I give it like 7.5 out of 10. From what I've played, I'm going to be finishing it off tonight. I'm recording this on the Monday. It'll probably go up on Tuesday. I don't know what else we're going to be doing this week. I did still beat it in a week. It's just very weird timing, because it came out on Tuesday. And it's a very, very long game. The game has a lot of content. You are going to get the bang for your buck. However, it all depends on how much you enjoy doing that content. The gameplay is fairly solid and satisfying with the takedowns and the stealth focus. It's all pretty fun. But, best experienced in like bursts of 3 hours or so each time. And you know what, if you do it that way and you keep on enjoying it, then you are going to get quite a lot out of it. It's not amazing, it's not mind-blowing, it is most certainly not next-gen, and it's a disappointment graphically, but it's okay. It's pretty fun. I do hope this is a case much like Assassin's Creed 2, where Assassin's Creed 1, in my opinion, was not very good at all, and then Assassin's Creed 2 completely blew me away with how much better it was. The same thing could happen with Watch Dogs, just like going from Altair to Ezio. We could go from Aiden Pearce being a very boring character to someone else who is far more interesting and hopefully a bit more fun and less my niece is dead so serious. Those are my thoughts on Watch Dogs. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.